All right. Well, welcome everybody. So great to see you here tonight. My name is Sally Reinemer and I live in the Denver area. And really thank you for joining us to learn about what, as we all age, regardless of what our age is, to learn more about aging with health and vitality. I've been a part of this healthy living community for many years, and it has been a catalyst for incredible health. And as I'm aging, I so appreciate the inspiration, the support, and really the invaluable education that we get to keep me going strong for many years to come. I'm so thankful to be a part of this community that is really inspiring healthy living for all ages around the world. And I think people are waking up to the fact that we need to take responsibility for our health and for our family's health, that nobody else is going to come in and save the day. They're not going to do it for us. But sometimes we get confused with conflicting information, or we feel trapped by our own family history. Well, tonight we're pleased to share some really empowering information from Dr. Rachael Pelt that can help all of us take control of our health. Let me just share a little bit about her. She is a scientist turned lifestyle entrepreneur who has studied healthy aging for the past 24 years. She completed her doctoral and postdoctoral training in the integrated physiology of aging, and then led clinical trials at the University of Colorado School of Medicine for 17 years. Throughout that time, her laboratory was continuously funded by the National Institutes of Health to conduct research on aging physiology and women's health. Her research focused on the changes in metabolism and body composition that occur with advancing age. And if you are aging like me, you certainly may have noticed some of that. And the impact of obesity, diabetes, and sex hormones. In 2017, Dr. Pelt left academia to build a business dedicated to preventing disease and maximizing health span. Today, she's on a mission to educate and motivate busy professional women to radically reboot midlife health and long-term wealth. So welcome, Rachael.
Thank you so much, Sally. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And let me know if you have any issues seeing my screen. Is that coming up?
Not yet.
Let's see. There we go.
There we go.
One of these days I'll get that.
Technology.
Yeah, right. That technology and moving people's faces out of the way so I can see my screen.
So could you give a thumbs up, everybody? Make sure you can see.
Fantastic.
Okay, perfect.
Good. So yeah, thank you for that introduction, Sally. And I am so excited to be here to talk about something that I am incredibly passionate about, and that's healthy aging. And I believe that healthy aging matters whether you're 5 years old or 95 years old. We can all live well much longer than we do. But first, I want to ask everybody to think about, what does healthy aging even mean to you? What images does it conjure up? You know, if you Google the term healthy aging, these are the kinds of images that you'll find. And I think for many of us, healthy aging is something that we kind of want to put off thinking about. It's something that happens far off into some arbitrary future. But I think it's incredibly important for us to think about aging really across the lifespan, that it matters no matter what age you are. We're aging from the day that we're born, and so it matters to every single one of us. Now, I first started thinking about healthy aging back in my 20s, back around the time these pictures were taken. That's me on the left holding the trophy. I was a varsity rower for the University of Washington in Seattle. And during the summers, I earned my way through college as a hotshot firefighter on the U.S. Forest Service. So that's me holding the chainsaw on the right. And I was at the peak of fitness and strength at this time. Why the heck would I be thinking about healthy aging? Well, I learned at around this time that I had the bone density of an 80-year-old. Not because I had some kind of rare genetic disorder or something like that. It was because my nutrition was terrible. We didn't know the first thing about sports nutrition back then, despite having great nutritionists at the University of Washington. We thought good sports nutrition was all about carbo loading. So I lived on bagels and pasta, fair amount of Ben and Jerry's frozen yogurt. And I had accelerated aging in my bones. I was aging prematurely. And I knew this wasn't right. It didn't make sense to me that I should be aging like that my bones should be already starting to get brittle and osteoporotic. But I didn't realize that, because I was so malnourished, even though I was eating plenty of food, I was always trying to gain weight to compete with other rowers who were much bigger than me. I was not getting enough nutrition. And so my body was leaching the nutrition it needed. It was leaching the minerals it needed from my bones. Well, the good thing that came of this is it inspired me to go on and get my PhD in integrative physiology, because I wanted to figure out what could I do to help people learn about health and prevent disease and not age so prematurely. Well, as an integrative physiologist, I was trained in how all of the human physiologic systems integrate or work together. So how the musculoskeletal system works with the circulatory system, how that works with the nervous system, the digestive system, and so on. And for the last 24 years, I did clinical research at the University of Colorado in the School of Medicine, studying how things like exercise and nutrition, sleep, menopause, chronic disease, and of course, aging impact how those physiologic systems continue to work together. Now, as an aging scientist, or a geroscientist, as we like to call ourselves, I think a lot about human physiology and how it changes across the age span. And for a lot of things, we tend to peak in early adulthood and it feels like nothing but declines thereafter, right? Well, as a geroscientist, I obsess a lot about how can we change this? How can we help to keep people fully functioning right up to the end of life, irrespective of lifespan? How can we maximize someone's health span, the quality of life that they live well beyond, that period early in life? And we know that we can do this, but we also know that it's neither of those extremes, is it? It's not rapid decline and it's also not perfect right up to the end of life. It's something more like this. Our life is a bit of a roller coaster. If things peak in early adulthood, the first hit to our physiology comes when we have kids and work-life stress gets in the way and we're not exercising enough or eating very well or sleeping very well. Then, at some point, if we're lucky, we can find that ever elusive work-life balance and we start exercising. Maybe it's just simply to keep up with our kids. And then something else happens. Maybe it's menopause for women or andropause for men. It's additional work-life stress. Whatever it is, we fall off the wagon. We're not doing as well as maybe we could. And then the kids move out of the house and lo and behold, we have more time for ourselves and maybe get a little more fit simply to travel or whatever. And then something else happens. It's that knee needs to be replaced or that hip needs replacement. And we have surgery and that sets us back quite a bit because we're bedridden for a while. We're not able to do all the things that we'd like to do. If we've got good rehab benefits and a good physical therapist, maybe we can get back to baseline. But around this time, this is when a lot of people are diagnosed with some sort of chronic disease. And then it's this constant battle of multiple medications, trips in and out of the medical system, repeated hospital visits, never quite fully recovering to our prior baseline. And that's where the rapid decline sets in. And that's what many people think of as an inevitable consequence of aging. But if I've learned nothing in the last 24 years, it's that this is not inevitable. It's modifiable. We can take the last half of our life from looking like this to looking like something more like this. We can improve people's health span. And we can do it in a couple ways. We can intervene midlife and really ramp up a healthy lifestyle. But what also matters is making sure that our kids are developing fully, reaching that peak wellness early in life as well. Because remember, my bones back in my 20s, I didn't reach peak bone mineral density because I didn't have a very good diet back then. So I think you'll probably all agree that nutrition is a very critical cornerstone to good health, but it goes hand in hand with exercise, sleep, mental wellness. These are the 4 pillars of health, and they all feed on each other. When we eat well, we feel better and we exercise more. When we exercise more, we sleep better. When we get better quality sleep, we feel better. Our mood and our energy is better, and we make better decisions about the types of food that we put in our mouth. And so it's this beautiful, virtuous feed forward cycle in which all of these things go hand in hand. But I know that nutrition, getting the right nutrition into our bodies is so hard these days. There's so much junk in our food, and it's so hard for our bodies to find all the nutrients it needs because there's so many artificial colors and preservatives and, few nutrients, a lot of pesticides, a lot of stuff that our poor bodies are working hard against. And even if you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, you'll find that today's produce just doesn't pack the same nutritional punch it used to. It has far fewer nutrients in it. And it's why we need at least 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables in our diet every day. And that's really hard to get. And we need even more if we're battling chronic disease or any kinds of cancer, that kind of thing. Now, I was happy when I was first introduced to Juice Plus a couple years ago and discovered that it was an easy way to get 45 different superfoods into our body every day. But, I obviously saw the potential benefit that this would have on healthy aging, but I did have to dig into science. I did, as a geeky scientist, need to look at all the research and know that it really had the same benefit as eating whole fruits and vegetables. And I was so happy to find that there was nearly 40 scientific studies that had been done by reputable scientists using rigorous scientific method and published in peer-reviewed journals. So reviewed by other independent scientists. So I was happy that this wasn't a company that simply relied on testimonials from happy customers. There's certainly a lot of happy customers out there, but this company has done rigorous scientific studies. It's been done by lots of different independent scientists and has really rigorously tested and shown that to have benefit compared to placebo, many health benefits. And those health benefits are far and wide across many physiologic systems. Things that I care about as a geroscientist because we call them biomarkers of aging. So Juice Plus, the fruits and vegetable capsules compared to placebo have been shown to have many benefits on things like vascular function, immune function, gum health. It reduces oxidative stress, reduces inflammation, improves DNA repair, skin health. All of these things are biomarkers of aging, or also another way to think of it is biomarkers of chronic disease. And so, because many of these things underlie chronic disease. So when we affect these things positively by taking Juice Plus, we're really reducing our risk of chronic disease. But I have to tell you, I wasn't that surprised by the research findings, because we already knew that a whole food plant-based diet was incredibly beneficial for all of these things we were just looking at: oxidative stress, inflammation, and so forth. And you simply cannot replicate that with a vitamin. The food that we eat, when we eat whole fruits and vegetables, that apple that you see there is not simply the vitamin C or magnesium that's in that apple that you can take out and put in the multivitamin. It's these thousands upon thousands of phytonutrients that you see in this list here. You can't read it, but suffice to say that when we are eating a whole food plant-based diet, we are getting thousands upon thousands of phytonutrients into our body every day. And our body knows how to use those nutrients in just the right combination and synergistic way that it needs to fight against, environmental toxins and chronic disease and so on. And you just can't get that from a multivitamin. The science doesn't support benefits of multivitamins on most chronic disease. And Juice Plus simply figured out years ago how to get these fruits and vegetables, these whole fruits, vegetables, and berries into a powdered form to get them into capsules and into gummies. They removed the sugar and the salt and the water, and what you're left with is all these wonderful live enzymes and phytonutrients that you can take every day very simply. Now, you might be wondering how these plant powders could have such a multitude of effects on all of these biomarkers of aging. Well, one of the major ways that a whole food plant-based diet improves our health is through our gut. We've learned a lot in recent years about our gut microbiota or our microbiome. There are trillions of bacteria in your gut that are constantly in communication with all of the physiologic systems of your body. Those bacteria are triggering your immune system, your metabolic system, your endocrine system. So they're responsible for how your body responds to injury and illness, how your hormones respond. And so when we flood our body with lots of wonderful nutrients, phytonutrients from those fruits and vegetables and berries, we're simply fertilizing that microbiome. Okay, you can think of it kind of like a farm and soil on a farm, a well-tended farm. If you take care of the soil, the farm keeps producing year after year. If you don't, it deteriorates, and our guts are the same way. And our gut is also in constant direct communication with our brain through the nervous system. And when we have gut dysbiosis or a chronically inflamed gut because we're eating a poor diet, that leads to inflammation throughout the body, including your brain. And that inflammation in the brain can lead to plaque buildup in the brain, degeneration of your neurons, and ultimately cognitive decline. But long before you feel any kind of effects on your memory, you will feel effects on your mood and your energy. And so if you want to feel good, you've got to take care of your gut. It's so critical for our mood, for our energy, for reducing anxiety and depression and those kinds of things. Good nutrition also impacts our brain health indirectly through its effect on our sleep. We've learned a lot in recent years about cellular clocks or clock genes. These are genes that are in cells throughout our body that respond to light and dark, but even more so to what we eat and when we eat. So we used to think everything was simply regulated in the brain, but now we know it's regulated by genes throughout our body. And when we're eating very nutritious food, those clock genes are operating optimally, and that leads to better sleep and ultimately better brain function. Now, I'm also incredibly excited about the Omega blend from Juice Plus. This is a newer product. It's only been out since 2017. We don't have the clinical research studies published yet. Those studies are ongoing right now. But we do have lots of data on the benefits of omega fatty acids. These are essential fatty acids that many physiologic systems throughout our body need. Many cells and tissues love omega fatty acids. And what I love about Juice Plus is these are plant-based omegas, not fish oil-based omegas. So they're much more environmentally sustainable. But they also include not just omega-3, but a wide variety of omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And we've got a lot of research on the health benefits of fish oil-based omegas. That's what you see here. And I don't have time to go into all of the benefits. There's just so many benefits of fish oil-based omegas. And I think that what we're going to see from the research on these plant-based omegas, just as good, if not better, benefit on a multitude of things that are important for healthy aging. Now, a really important point that I have to make whenever I give these kinds of talks is that what we eat, the foods that we put into our body, are so important for nourishing our cells, our tissues, our physiologic system. What we do and do not put into our body is not about weight loss. It shouldn't be about what our waistline is going to look like. How we eat is all about nourishment. And in fact, this, focus on weight loss can be problematic as we get older, because when we lose weight, about 30% of the weight that we lose is muscle and bone, and we can't afford to lose any muscle and bone as we get older. We're already losing muscle and bone, and when we lose weight, that just makes it worse. And when we're not eating nutritious foods, those bones become more brittle, more porous, more prone to breaking. You see the difference between normal bone and osteoporotic bone. And our muscles become more marbled with fat, and the fibers become thinner and weaker, and so that contributes to loss of mobility and function and increased risk of fracture as we get older. So it's absolutely critical that we maintain our muscle and bone as we get older. But I also want to point out that it's important that we build good muscle and bone when we're younger, because remember, in my 20s, I already had bones that were starting to look like this. And so it's absolutely critical for kids as well as older adults to make sure that we're getting enough good nutrition into our body. And one of the ways that we maintain good muscle and bone and we build good muscle and bone is by getting enough good high quality protein into our diet every day. Now, I don't advocate running out and, adopting an Atkins-like diet. We can get sufficient protein from a plant-based diet, from plant-based sources. And I love the complete shake and bars from Juice Plus, because they're this wonderful blend of plant-based carbohydrate and protein and fiber, all these wonderful plant-based phytonutrients in them. And they are so wonderful for supporting good bone and muscle health. And not only do we need twice as much protein when we're older to stimulate the same amount of protein turnover in response to exercise, but we need that protein spread throughout the day. We can't simply eat a big steak at dinner and call it good. We've got to have protein at every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and probably snacks throughout the day, in conjunction with exercise to really build good muscle and bone. And I love it, not only for maintaining muscle and bone, but I think it's great for academic performance and athletic performance and recovery. I give it to my kids every day after school as their snack while they're doing their homework. We use it on the weekends to recover from their soccer games, or I use it when I do my ultra distance running. I love these products. This is the kind of stuff that I feel good about putting into my body every single day. It's this well-balanced, very good product. And it's not the kind of junk that's marketed to bodybuilders. This is stuff that you can feel good about feeding to your kids every day and even your aging parents. So as a geroscientist, really the nutritional lifelines from Juice Plus simply check all the boxes that I care about when it comes to healthy aging. I know that we can help to, prevent chronic disease, prevent memory declines through its effect on our brain health and our sleep. This improves our energy and mental well-being long term. We can maintain our muscle and bone so we maintain our strength and stay mobile and ultimately independent. But it's also absolutely critical for preserving our nest egg. Why? Because when we stay healthy, when we improve our health span, we can stop sending all of our money, all of our hard-earned retirement savings to big pharma and major medical companies. We don't have to keep doing that. And I think you'll agree that our health span is absolutely tied to our wealth span because of it. It's critical. We think about this a little bit like retirement planning. Planning for your health span today, you might think you're too young to think about it. You're going to put this off for a few more years, but I would argue that little investments that you make today will pay dividends long term. And so think about that. Think about improving your health span, and just in an effort to preserve your wealth span. Use that money. Stop sending it to big pharma, major medical. Use that money for you and your family, your bucket list items to leave as a legacy to your family or to your favorite philanthropic organization, whatever you want to do. But I think if you're the type of person that can see the benefit of extending your health span, improving your quality of life long term, I think the first simple step is just to talk to the person who invited you today and get on these nutritional lifelines. I don't think that you're going to be disappointed. If you need help further boosting your physical activity or improving your sleep or your mental well-being, further nutritional support, I'd be happy to help further. You can connect with me either on Facebook or Instagram. I'm easy to find out there. And if you're already the type of person who has leveled up their health and is doing everything they can, is motivated to help other people, we always need more troops on the ground. We always need people that are going to help, spread the word, be part of like-minded group of individuals spreading the healthy living revolution. We need people to help prevent disease and help us all age better, gracefully throughout life, whether we're 5 or 95, we could use your help. So in the meantime, I just want to say thank you for coming tonight, and I feel blessed to have found this tribe of wellness warriors and to be sharing why I love, the Juice Plus products and why I think that they're going to help us all live well longer.
Great. Thank you, Rachel. I know for me it has been, as I said at the beginning, an incredible catalyst for amazing healthy aging, and it just gets better. That's what I love about it. It just gets better. Well, we really hope that you found this information helpful and you feel empowered to take on some new healthy habits. And as Rachel said, we are a movement of people creating a healthy living revolution for people of all ages. And she mentioned there's several ways that you can join us. And one thing I know when I hear these health education webinars, I always think of people like, oh man, so-and-so would just love this. And so if you're feeling that, well, just good news, we do have more of these. We do a lot of health education on different topics. And if you're feeling a tug to share this with people that you care about, we invite you to join us. You may want, as Rachel said, to start integrating these plant powders into your own health picture and with your families. And this wasn't mentioned, but I'll just briefly mention it, that you have the capacity to sponsor a child or a grandchild that can also be taking the Juice Plus products. So just please get back to the person that invited you to learn more about any of these things. We're so happy that you joined us tonight, and good night.
Thank you. Thanks, Sally.
President did not